Welcome back. My next guest to speak about the security situation in Benue State is Kennedy Angbo. He's a member representing Otukpo State constituency in Benue State, joining us from Abuja studio. Mr. Angbo, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming on the program. Let's begin with your quick overview.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
You're welcome. Let's begin with your overview of the security situation in Benue. I'm looking at some things report that there was herdsmen killing about 6 persons in February. The Otukpo Ado LGA road linking Benue State is a hotbed for the killer herdsmen kidnapping people. There was herdsmen operating in the same area on Monday around the Asha axis, killing one man and injuring the other. On Sunday, there was an attack on St. Helens Specialist Hospital where a man was kidnapped and his son while they were on admission. I could go on and on. This is some of the pictures. And sometimes we feel everything is not reported. But you're the one representing the area and a member of the State House of Assembly. So give us an overview of what we're dealing with in Benue State.
Just to put it straightforward, it's quite terrible. It's a dire situation we have in Otukpo, and indeed the entire Zone C, the 9 local governments, apart from the 2 in Igede land, which is Obianuju. There's hardly any local government in that axis that is not almost within a sizable control, or at least of the terrorists, the headers and the kidnappers. So they double as both headers who come and inflict pain on our people, chase them out of their lands, stop them from farming, take up their crops and feed their cows. That's the kind of situation we have. And then at the same time, they are killing people, and then they are also kidnapping people for ransom. It's quite terrible. There's a story of a woman who was kidnapped on the 1st of April. They went for her husband, didn't see the husband at home, and so they kidnapped her. And from that day till now, they've been raping her every time. And every time they rape her, they put a call across to the man, just so that they can torture him and ask him to come to submit himself. That's how dire the situation is. I can go on and on. Killings, you've just reeled them out. Killings have become a habitual thing on a daily basis in Otukpo, where I represent. And unfortunately, the security agencies are unable to check these occurrences. These marauders come in at will at any time they want to. They sack the communities, they kidnap people, they maim them, they rape them, and it's unfortunate. Mr. Onche was just killed 2 days ago. Before then, the night before then, one Miss Felicia Ochibo was killed. Another Iboma was killed. I mean, the case is it just keeps increasing. Just another day before then, 2 of my associates were kidnapped. They were on their way to Wakekeep and they were kidnapped. Luckily for them, the early hours of that morning, their captors were asleep and then they fled. But then that was not even enough for that angered them. And the next morning, the next day, they went to that same community where these boys were from or are from, and they went and kidnapped people and brutalized one Miss Eganyo in that community of Igbeji.
Okay.
So you have these cases all over the place. It's a terrible situation we have. And unfortunately, the security agencies are not doing enough. When you complain, they would rather tell you that there is no insecurity in Otukpo, but the truth is far from what they are telling us.
Honorable, my apology, Honorable Angbo. So I'm trying to wonder what is going on here. One of the things I read out was the fact that a man and his son that were on admission in the hospital were kidnapped by these guys. So what is really going on? You're a member of the State House of Assembly. So I expect yourself and perhaps your colleagues to hold the governor and the government to account to protect your own people. And we've had conversations on both sides, people, on both sides, even government coming in. And the feelers is like, whether it's underreported or living in denial. So you are part of the government. So when we talk about the government of Benue State, you are part of that government as the legislative branch. So what is really hampering progress in terms of bringing this to a stop or minimizing it? Is it that the government is living in denial, or the government is overwhelmed? Do they need a declaration of a state of emergency in in that sector? And why is the State Assembly failing to hold the governor to account, to secure your people?
Thank you for that very important question. Our role and responsibility is to make sure the government, and particularly the executive arm, does what is right. I'm supposed to be on the floor today moving a motion on this matter. But you know, the reason why I chose to be here rather than to move a motion is that we've moved motions, and these motions have not yielded the desired results. Whether there is denial, whether there is our inabilities to, I can tell you for a fact that the situation is overwhelming because quite a number of local governments are under attack. But then we must not trivialize it and make it just strictly the thing of the governor's ability or inability to curb this insecurity. It's far from that. If you recall that the former governor, Otom, was always hue and cry here and there all the time. And it's because what is going on is not just few elements of criminals. Is calculated attempt, is staged, it is planned, it is sponsored. And I can tell you that unless the federal government wades into it, and I'm not asking for a state of emergency, that is not what we're asking for. We're saying that the government must be drastic enough deploying its resources. Now, it's one thing for you to deploy resources, it's another thing for them to tell you that they don't have clearance from Abuja. 2 years ago, when there was an attack in Otukpo on the banks, the military could not do anything because they said they didn't have clearance from Abuja. If you ask the Commissioner of Police, he will tell you that he's waiting for signal. So it is far beyond the governor's call of duty. Security, like you know, is centralized. And until we can decentralize that process where the communities by themselves can rise up and say, we would man our borders, we would check everything that happens around our communities. Until then, you and I were going to be talking about this. We've been talking about this. You go to Ebonyi, you say the same thing. You go to the east, the northwest. You go to the southeast, south, and the west. It's all the same thing. So we must absorb the governors from always putting the blames on them. Until we can give the governors the power.
Yeah, my apologies. As we begin to wind down, I don't know how you want us to absorb. I know that the governor, in fact, when Nyesom Wike was governor of Rivers State, he used to say he's not the chief security officer. He says he's the chief logistics officer because he can't control any of the security apparatus. But we cannot run away from holding the person who is in charge account. What effort is he making to minimize this? If you can answer in 30 seconds as we begin to wind down. Because he has to take responsibility as well.
Yeah, let me tell you part of the things he's doing. One, we believe that as people, as a representative of the Otukpo people, I believe that one of the things the governor can do that would help us is, yeah, we don't expect that he will be able to curb it, but he should come to Otukpo and visit with the people and commiserate and show us sympathy and be there for us. But then number two is the fact that when you look at it critically speaking, the issue of this insecurity must be squarely laid. That the people who have the responsibility to address this issue are, number one, the DSS, the police, the NSCDC, and the rest of them. We must allow them to do their job. If the governor recently gave trucks in hundreds to these security agencies, what will that help them to do? If the governor says, and I can tell you for a fact that in the wake of all these attacks, we have escalated this to the governor, and he has also mandated his security advisor to get to the matter. And the security advisor has given marching orders to the security agencies to do their job. But then, up until now, no arrest has been made. Up until now, we do not know how much they have done to be able to bring the people who are in captivity out.
All right, Honorable. It's an ongoing conversation. Did you say the governor has not visited Zone C since this incident? Otukpo?
I am saying that in the wake of these attacks, that the people are expecting, and I speak for the people are expecting the governor to visit Otukpo and speak to them and let them know that he is with them. That's what my people expect of him.
All right, we'll continue to keep tab on what's going on in Benue. Most thank you for coming through as just leaving the motion you're moving and coming to the program. We appreciate you for that. Kennedy Angbo is the member representing Otukpo State constituency in the Benue State House of Assembly. Thank you, sir.